We have to prepare for a more angry world, and how to prepare? It means to take the necessary action to create.
Every new 2160-year epoch or age can be divided up into another 12 signs of the zodiac, giving 180 years of lesser but still influential energy from each sign's ruling planet. Mars in Aries offers proactive Mars energy, charging ahead in a martial-like manner. It is a cardinal fire sign, offering the brutal and aggressive aspect of Mars energy. It is masculine, where the focal awareness wishes to move in a specific direction. The technological control grid growing up around us, promoted by the globalists, will lock us all into a digital network of absolute control, utilizing new technology. As Saturn is the main ruler over the new age, control, order, restrictions and limitations are some of the key words describing the main overriding influential energy. Since the discovery of Uranus during the American and French revolutions in 1871, this outer planet, which mainly influences us through the subconscious, has been assigned as shared ruler for the first half of the Aquarian age. Some of the key words expressing Uranus's energies are freedom, independence, new technology, and innovations. This energy will combine with Saturn's controlling restrictive energy to give the flavor of the cosmic energies influencing our collective consciousness and therefore our overall perception of reality. This can basically be interpreted as satanic order and restrictions using new technology and new innovations for the purpose of control. Although these appear to be the overriding energies defining the new age, Mars's minor role for the first 180 years will also be noticed, especially throughout certain parts of the world. This new form of globalization is more like a scientific dictatorship, mixing elements of communism and fascism with technology to create a new world order. Communism is thought to have been created by elements within the British Empire's elite, financed and sponsored by London's international banking cartel as a mechanism to create revolution and chaos among their colonial competitors. An antithesis to free and open market forces, this new satanic Marxist form of governance was used as a countermeasure and antagonist to free republics and democracies, with the ultimate aim of merging both systems together into this new form of scientific dictatorship which we see evolving today. The greatest threat to the globalization project has been strong, independent, free nations whose national identity and cohesion was strong enough to defy globalist impositions and objectives. This all came to a head during the previous World War, when international communism was used as the face of globalization to undermine strong nations wishing to hold on to their heritage and levers of power. Although our history concerning the various races around the planet is still a mystery to most, one thing we can be certain of is the fiercely independent disposition of many variations of the white race. American society was dominated by what is known as WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, up to the 1960s, at a time when North America was still predominantly made up of descendants of Northern Europeans. Some circles would classify those people as Aryans, a label used extensively throughout the first half of the last century. It could be argued that the term Aryan comes from the zodiac sign of Aries, as many of these people display certain Aries and Mars characteristics. Celtic Ireland, known as Erin, refers to Aryans, and the term Anglo-Saxon refers to a cultured group who spoke Old English and inhabited much of what is now England and south-eastern Scotland. They trace their origins to Germanic settlers who became one of the most important cultural groups in Britain by the 5th century. It is interesting to point out that if the Earth is divided up into 12 signs of the zodiac, using the Great Pyramid of Giza as the benchmark for longitude, all land within 30 degrees east of Giza falls under the sign of Aries. Could this be the real origins of the once mighty Aryan race? The Persian Empire falls within this area, and it is also interesting to note that the name Iran means the land of the Aryans. Considering our racial history is a mystery to most people living throughout the world today, various older cultures once had an opinion to their roots and heritage. When Germany introduced the Nuremberg racial laws of 1935, the Iranians, who were classified as pure-blood Aryans, were exempt from these racial laws and prejudices. They were also given a donation of 7,500 books relating to the history of the Aryan people. Groups and organizations trying to impose a one-size-fits-all globalization system upon the world have been thwarted many times in the past by strong communities and nations of so-called Aryans who appear to have an innate spirit of freedom and independence. Many of these cultures throughout history have resisted the impositions of those wishing to impose satanic controls and restrictions over them. Is it any wonder that a great deal of conflict and bloodshed takes place within the sign of Aries on our global zodiac? And is it the case that at one time all the planets had a religion based around the astrological characteristics of each planet? Monks focusing on the moon, sun worshippers focusing on the sun, Buddhism focusing on Mercury, Christians on Jupiter, Islam on Venus, Judaism on Saturn, and Aryanism on Mars. Therefore, it is plausible to suggest that those who worship and promote the energies of the planet of control, order, austerity, and limitations have, throughout the ages, opposed any group strong enough to resist their impositions. Today, we are witnessing the subversive replacement of ethnic Europeans and North Americans. Millions of migrants from all over the world are being encouraged to flood through the borders and mix with the indigenous populations under the slogan, "Diversity is our strength." However, this slogan of strength only applies to those financing this mass movement of people, mostly men of military age. Diversity is our strength would be a great motto for the international banking cartel and multinational corporations pushing forward this latest phase of the globalization project, because a nation divided is a weak nation unable to resist outside impositions. Anything which is 180 degrees opposite to what supposedly made the Aryan race strong will also be promoted throughout society as a way to fragment any form of future unification among groups opposing globalization. This movement of millions of young men of military age fits well under the energies of Mars' proactive movement in a specific direction. If people keep voting for satanic representatives to rule their political systems, they cannot expect anything other than more control, restrictions, austerity, scarcity, and hard labor.
We have to prepare for a more angry world, and how to prepare? It means to take the necessary action to create